Hello and welcome to Secrets Mystery Manor. I'm your host, Psychic Zelda Kelly. Warning: this podcast may contain sensitive material. It is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer and listening discretion is advised. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Ghost and Paranormal in Israel Part 2. I hope you enjoy the show. Hello, and welcome back. I missed you. Okay, now we're going to finish this episode with some very interesting information. But again, a real hearty big thank you to Catherine Schoenfeld for winning the podcast content contest. Yes, that is a mouthful. And we're going to have another contest soon. But we thank you, Catherine. This is a very interesting subject, and she wanted to hear ghost paranormal stories from Israel. So thank you again. And thank you for listening out there. We really appreciate you coming by and taking your time to listen with us today. So this last thing I want to talk to you about is very interesting. Okay? I know you've all heard of it. I know you've all seen it. And it was a craze for a little time. Okay? The Dybbuk box. That's right. It's a part of Jewish mythology. Actually, it's been around for centuries. Now, when I first heard of a Dybbuk box, because I didn't really hear about it, you kind of maybe ran into it, but skimmed over it until it was really made very, very popular in the 2012 movie about the Dybbuk box, which is called The Possession. I've never seen that. Some of those movies, well, whatever, but I had never heard of it until then. And I had always thought that a Dybbuk box was really the name of a box, or the container. I didn't realize until later on when I did a lot of research about this, because, and I'll get to that point here in a minute, but the Dybbuk box is this, well, Dybbuk in the Yiddish and Hebrew means to adhere or to cling. So it is a malicious spirit that intentionally possesses you. Yikes. So this thing has a purpose, an intention. So it is said to be the dislocated soul of a dead person. Now, for those of you, the spirit and the soul, people get that, what's the difference? Okay, so the spirit is the intellect of the soul. So the spirit is the mind, like to the body. The spirit is the intellect of the soul. So this is supposed to be a dislocated soul. And they say that primarily they are male. I wonder who made that rule. Well, anyway, I'm sure that there are plenty of women who could fill that role, right? Right, ladies? Right? Just, okay, so anyway. So this goes back, a Dybbuk box, interestingly enough, goes right back to the 16th century in writings, and even before it was mentioned. So this isn't something that just came up in 2012 with this movie. But what made this popular and what really brought this to the surface of many topics is a man by the name of Kevin Mannis. Now, Kevin bought a lady's, it was supposed to be the granddaughter of a woman who was in the Jewish Holocaust. Okay, not sure what that was about, but anyway, he bought this box on eBay, I think, is what it was, and The granddaughter who had this box said, you got to be careful. You keep it shut, keep it out of the reach of other people. Don't put it near anything that is, well, near the doorway or a window or anything else like that. And that it was supposed to have a restless spirit and possess the living. So whatever it was that was on the inside was capable of possessing and really wreaking havoc with a lot of people. So the seller, this granddaughter, told Kevin Mannis that it was just never to be opened, and if it was, look out. Bad stuff was going to happen. So he did not listen to her. Well, why listen to her? First thing he probably did was run home and open that box. I'm sure he did. So Kevin Mannis was about, I don't know, in his mid-30s at the time, and he went back to his shop. He was a shop owner, and he wanted to restore this box. It was an old wine box, and 2 doors that opened up. I guess it was very pretty. You'll know the box in a minute. You've seen it, I'm sure. And he wanted to restore it and give it to his mother for birthday. Now, I got to say this. Let's just take a little side trip here. I am not going to take a box that I bought from some random person who said that this had evil and possessive spirits and blah blah on the inside, and oh yes, that's just perfect for my mother. I'll take it home and restore it and give it to her. And by the way, Mom, don't open it. Okay, but anyway, so he goes home and he opens the box. He opens the wine cabinet and he finds these strange things on the inside. One was a 4-legged candlestick. Another one was a golden wine cup. There was a granite sculpture inscribed with Hebrew word shalom. There were 2 pennies. There were U.S. wheat pennies from 1925 and 1928. 2 locks of hair, a dried rosebud, and I think that was it. The Shema prayer was considered to be most important in Judaism, and it was carved in the back of the cabinet. Now, isn't this disturbing enough? Okay, side commentary here. You go, you buy this haunted cabinet, you want to give it to your good old mother, and you open it up and you see these random objects and you think, who or what could have put these in this cabinet? Whatever. Okay, Mom, hope you enjoy it, but don't open it, okay? So, Kevin Mannis gave this box to his mother. Her name was Ida. Bless Ida's heart. He gave it to her on Halloween. Now, unless you have a Halloween mother like me, who would maybe sort of appreciate this sort of thing. No, I don't think I would. There's a line that needs to be drawn, but okay, Kevin Mannis is really setting the center stage here. Okay, so in 2012, the TV series Paranormal Witness interviewed Ida, and she told that immediately she described when she opened this box, she felt this cold breeze come around her, and as she opened the doors, and then she said she felt and knew pure evil came out. And at that moment, poor Ida immediately had a stroke. My goodness, Ida, bless her heart. So now it starts. The next 2 years, other mysteries happened to Kevin and those around him. His sister got creeped out by the cabinet because the doors kept opening on their own. And the sister-in-law and the brother complained of odd smells coming from the box, like, well, Kitty, you're in Did you hear that? And jasmine. Ugh, what a combination. So Kevin Mannis and his brothers and sisters said that they suffered from the same reoccurring nightmare of an old woman whose eyes were sunken, and said that it was just crazy, some of the things that about this old woman in this dream. And then very sadly, one of the um, one of the brothers of one of the store's employees committed suicide shortly after visiting the shop, and he knocked the cabinet off the shelf. I don't know, is that related? I don't know. So a couple years later, there was another worker that took his own life that was around this cabinet. I think, Kevin, I think at this point I would have gotten rid of this long before now, but hello. Okay, so he tried to give the box to his girlfriend. Oh, don't even get me started. Do you not want her to be your girlfriend anymore? Well, she's not any longer. But she said that she started seeing shadows and her peripheral vision, that there were shadow people, and she actually forced him to take it back. She said, I'm not doing this anymore. Well, she got rid of Kevin too. So he listed it on eBay in 2003. And his background was in advertising, entertainment, and so he wrote this very long descriptive, very long details about the product, and then he called it a Dybbuk box. Now there can be two spellings here for Dybbuk. One is D-Y-B-B, I'm sorry, let me start over. D-Y-B-B-U-K. And then there is D-I-B-B-U-K. Don't know if there's anything that means anything about that, but if you see that, it's one and the same. Okay, so he just basically says a lot. He said in the email, or I'm sorry, in the eBay description, a lot of weird things were happening and he wanted to get rid of it. And then he just writes at the end of the description, help me, in quotes, just help me. Well, you know that sent eBay in a complete frenzy. And so everybody, imagination. And I remember I saw this. Hello. I even wanted to buy one of these, and I thought, no, knowing my luck, I would get a real one, because there were a lot of people that were going out and buying cigar boxes and putting things in. They were going to places like thrift stores and buying these boxes and doctoring them up, and then they started melting these wax candles around this and the boxes, and you had to crack this open, and it was just an event to even get one. And then you pulled out these things, and it could have been pictures, or I saw one, there was a tooth in it. Okay, so anyway, there were this was the craze, and there still are many openings of Dybbuk boxes on the internet, and you can see those too. It's kind of fun to watch, but sometimes kind of scary too. So there were many things that were happening around this box, and now the new owner, whose name was Jason Haxton, and he released in 2011 a book about this box. And he studied like American antiques and ancient artifacts and decades and blah blah blah, and was fascinated by this mysterious wine cabinet that held this Dybbuk, allegedly, so to speak. And he said that everything that could go wrong after he bought that box went wrong. In fact, he said that his eyes started to bleed randomly and had the same dreams that the Manus family had about this creepy old woman in the first few months of buying this box. Oh boy. So in 2012 is when this movie, The Possession, was made about a Dybbuk box, and both Kevin Manus and Jason Haxton were on the production site and were actually hired as consultants on the film. So now all this hype starts happening, okay? There's all this buzz around the Dybbuk. Now, after 5 years, 5 years, this was like the gold rush, gold fever, only it was Dybbuk fever. You know him, ghost hunter Zach Bagans from Ghost Adventures, who was on Travel Channel and now Discovery Plus. He bought the Dybbuk box from Jason Haxton and put it in his museum in Las Vegas, and now it is said to be the world's most haunted object. I don't know who said that or who dubbed that. Maybe Zach said it. I don't know. But anyway, he actually opened the box on an episode of Ghost Adventures during some quarantine episodes that he had. And I actually watched that. You could hear a child's voice, and you could hear a voice say Kevin, who was referred to as Kevin Manus, who was the semi-original owner of this box and this fever. Post Malone was there with Zach, and he had some really scary incidents start happening about him, or around him. So I got to tell you, I've got some questions, and I think for our sake of our own health, you should too. My question is, if this Dybbuk, all seeing, all powerful, as they give this Dybbuk so much credit, number one, how did they get it into this wine box? Now, if you've seen pictures of this wine box, it's just this wooden box with these two little, it's actually very beautiful. It's two doors that close and open. The opening is in the middle, two doors. How do you get it in there, first of all? And here's my $64 million question. Why, if this is so powerful, does this box hold this powerful entity in there? How does that happen? Right? This entity can make your eyes bleed, can breathe cold air, make you have dreams, but he can't climb out of a rickety little wine box with these little, I don't know, hinges and a little latch hook on the front of it. Yeah, I've got questions, all right. And you should too, maybe. Maybe somebody can answer it. That'd be great. Let me know. Will you comment in our comment section, please, and let me know. So there you have it about the Dybbuk box. And at one point, we were even going to order a Dybbuk box. I was going to open it, but don't want to take any chances. I still have the necklace. And the necklace has been stored, wrapped up, in safety, out of the reach of many, many people. And if you want to know that story, pop on the YouTube, my House of Zelda YouTube, and you can see that. But I don't know if I want to. Sometimes you just have to draw the line. To me, it's like having a Ouija board. It's actually a Ouija board. Sometimes you just don't want to approach that line, and I don't think that we should. I think it's interesting and it's fun, and quite frankly, all of a sudden, up until 2011, we never saw anything about a Dybbuk wine box. And now you can still see them for sale all over eBay, Etsy, Amazon, you name it. They're all over the place. Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat. They're all over. So what do? Okay, we sit back and we let our minds try to reason ourselves through these things. I don't know. And I don't have answers about this, but I think it's interesting, and I knew that you would like to hear about it too. So comment below. Again, we'd love to hear from you. And I want to say that I want to thank you for listening today, and I want to thank Psychics Secrets, that's www.psychicsecrets.com, for allowing me to have this podcast posted on their website. Now, they've also partnered with me, and this is really exciting. If you want to come on over to my Facebook page, I have a group called House of Zelda. And in that group, you can see many, many times that we run specials for many different minute packages. We have contests and specials and minutes free and so forth. So stop on over there and say hello and tell us that you listened to the podcast. And come on. You see, I can't even talk. I'm talking about the Dybbuk and now I can't talk. I wonder if that's something. Okay, so for first-time callers, we even have a special of $1 per minute, up to 30 minutes, first-time callers. So we can get a lot discussed on that first-time call that you make. So I want to thank you again for stopping by and to psychicsecrets.com. That's 2 S's now, psychicsecrets.com. And I wish you a very, very wonderful October weekend. Next time on the podcast, we're going to be talking about some real spooky stuff. We are approaching one of our favorite days of the year, Halloween. Ooh. So stop by then, and I'll see you soon. Take care. And oh, by the way, go over to the site, the Psychic Secrets website. Slide on over to the right, scroll down, and you'll see podcasts. Go down on that page, and it'll say request a haunting or make a request for a haunting. Stop in there and tell us what you'd like to hear about, won't you? That's a lot of fun. But I enjoy bringing this to you. Thank you so much for your time today. You be well, you be brave, and you be very blessed. This is your host, Psychic Zelda Kelly, saying bye for now. Until next time, thanks so much for listening. I just love this, don't you?